of Gather Together, Grow Together. We provide transportation, affordable transportation. All right. We don't want to hear that again. How y'all doing? It is 88 degrees in Kitsap County. There is still a heat advisory in place. So please, please, please hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Get indoors if you can. Definitely stay in the shade if you do not have that option. All right. We are here. I should call this Rock the Block Radio. That's what I should call that. Man, we got to come on. We got to talk about a few things. Lots of conversations going around in the city. But first, I want to go ahead and read this for all of us that do like our Bible. Matthew chapter 25. I'm only going to read verse 35 and 36. For I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty, and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. I needed clothes, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you looked after me. I was in prison, and you came to visit me. Well, I can tell you right now, the people that are rocking the block, they are absolutely doing that. Again, there is a heat advisory in place, and we've got good people, great people, salt of the earth people down there on ML King taking care that are down there. No, they're not being paid. There's no compensation in it for them. They could be spending time with their kids. They could be taking a nap. They could stay cool. They could be going to a movie. They could be working a second job. They can be doing a whole host of other things. But instead, what they're doing, they're downtown on ML King taking care of the people that are down there. That's what they're doing. And this is what it's going to take. Now, it has been brought to my attention that, you're feeding folks and, that's not helping the situation. It's going to bring more people down there. Understand that the Rock the Block efforts is far more than providing a meal. Although I'm not going to discount how much a meal is, how important that is. Now, maybe you can't remember the last time you were hungry and didn't know when that next meal was going to come from, or didn't have power to eat outside of designated hours. Because maybe you are just that privileged right now in your life. So I don't even want to discount if that's all Rock the Block was doing. There is Nurse Kimmy right there, attending to someone. Now, here's the thing. The difference between Rock the Block and all the good folks that gets bigger and bigger every day. Just not hand off a bottle of water or something to eat and bail. No, they're in the tents. They understand who the people are. They know the names. They're taking care of wounds. They're advocating. They're providing human service to people. I don't know if Kelsey is a nurse. It's so much more than just water. Again, what was it, 90-something degrees yesterday? And they're not just down there on Mondays, just Jocelyn, prayer walkers. Someone is down there at least 7 days a week, at least one. So it's just much more than that. And we say, hey, we need to have folks pull themselves up by the proverbial bootstraps. I don't see any bootstraps here to pull up. But I see people that are caring, again, uncompensated, money and time out of their own pocket, where they could be doing something different. Some have experienced addiction and homelessness and other horrible things, and so they give back. Some have never experienced addiction, have empathy and sympathy. I have been homeless. Shout out to Kitsap E-Race. A lot of folks. This isn't even half of the people that are down there, right? You don't see Bailey and Monk and all the rest, right? There's a lot of good people that are down there. Food Not Bombs. Lots of people down there receiving services, receiving conversation, a humanistic approach to a problem that we don't seem to have the political will in this country yet to address effectively. Now, what Kimmy's smiling so hard for in this picture is because folks that are down there are actually helping to keep the area clean. You can see the bandage on his right leg there. These are the things that are happening with Rock the Block. Taking care of feet. Sitting in tents, having conversations, finding out what are people's needs, what are their issues, how can we help? Right now, it may just be to listen, just for you to recognize me, just for you to see me, and not be the problem. You need to fix the problem on ML King. She doesn't see a problem. She sees someone who's experiencing being unhoused and a host of other issues that needs attention and help. She's not in a hurry. Those aren't volunteers. Those are those folks that are there. See, this is the part that doesn't get reported. This is the part that doesn't get seen. City Council is tonight. And unfortunately, there are going to be a host of people that will vilify the situation and the people. Or they'll have a qualifier which will say, hey, you know what? I understand it's hard. People go on hard times, but, and we understand that when you put a but in there, it negates everything that you just said. We need them gone. This is a problem. This is the issue. The challenge is that many of those folks never offer up any solution. There goes Don. Shout out to Don. We have been advocating for porta potties down there for a long time. Now you got to look at it as a win-win-win. No, this isn't what is the last step. Obviously, the last step is everyone would be housed, right? This has to be one of the most intimate things that a human being is going to do multiple times per day, which is go to the bathroom. Now, for those that don't have access to Salvation Army or any public restroom, are left to urinate and defecate outside, and typically in full view of other people. So it gives a level of dignity back to the people that need to use the restroom. And that's an actual toilet seat, right, that she is on. where there's cover, but for the homeowners, for the renters, for the businesses that are down there, it also gives some privacy so that youth and adults aren't seeing genitalia. They're not watching urination and defecation and cutting down on that. There are 3 of these that are down there, one over by Burger King. Now, yes, there needs to be at least a porta potty, if not an urban rest stop on the way to housing everyone. But this was a simple, inexpensive solution that community members coming together were able to make happen. That's what I mean by the political will. Community will. And that is something to be celebrated. Right? Have a conversation. Talk to people. Find out who they are, what they're about. What do they need? Is there anything that we can do to help? Folks just coming down and giving love. Cannot discount how important that is. Understand that suicides are up this year. We're not even talking about the unhoused right now, right? And it's actually up for the oldest demographic in our country, has the largest increase. I think it's like 8%. Suicides are up this year. Hopelessness. Many of us are in these huge cities and we feel isolated and alone. I see you. I care about you. I can't change the situation. I can try to make it more bearable. I can leverage my voice, my time, my talents to try to make it easier. So no, we're not just providing food down on ML King. I think this gentleman maybe had his finger saved, but there was another person that ended up losing their finger, had to be amputated. Those things are hard to see. Well, I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger and you invited me in. I needed clothes and you clothed me. I was sick and you looked after me. I was in prison and you came to visit me. Many hands make light work. There's a saying, we gotta be about it, not talk about it. And these folks are about it. They're about it. The situation is what the situation is. Unfortunately, we can't go back into time. We can say, hey, this is the fault of the mayor, or city council, whoever we want to blame it on for not having the foresight, understanding that this was coming. But that's not going to do any good. What are we going to do now? How can we band together as a community and say, hey, our most vulnerable need help? That we don't want to see the numbers increase. We don't want to see another person fall into homelessness. And we want to see the numbers start to move back the other way. That's what we want to see. That's what we need to see. But that's only going to happen if we're all working together. And we can. And I implore you, one, to make your voice heard at city council. Two, think about potential solutions. Now, you may hear this has already been tried, but that's okay. Because right now, the ideas are going to be where the solution is. Let me go ahead and make that a little bit bigger so people can see that. That's what it's going to take, right? It's going to take us all doing it. Not just the few right now that are doing it. And they're doing a hell of a job for the 20, 30, 40 people that are doing it, that are doing what they can. Let's see if I made that large enough to see. It might be too big. Oh, yeah, it's too big. I want you to be able to see it. Oh, maybe I could just stretch it out a little bit here. Yeah, that didn't work. They definitely would welcome your help if you wanted to come down and help them out. I'm sure they would love that. I'm there on Mondays, and I can't always even stay the entire time. But Dawn and Kimmy and Jocelyn and Kelly, there's so many folks that are down there. Kelsey, multiple times. At some point, I think Kimmy might live down there. But what are the issues? We have scores of unhoused individuals and families down there. Scores being 20, right? Maybe there's 100. I'm not sure. There's a lot. And now they're starting to migrate across the street over by the Burger King on Broadway, right? It's spilling over. So what are the issues? No shelter. What are the issues? Homeowner and renter safety. What are the issues? Business impact. What are the issues? Marvin Williams Center, right? They have programming that's going on. They have youth. They have the Oprah Robertson Teen Center that can't operate the way that it was designed to operate. What are the issues? COVID has exhausted the resources. Churches and nonprofits have seen their resources depleted. Used to be able to get gas cards and hotel stays from churches pretty easily, but they haven't recovered. The eviction moratorium is over. Livable wages is laughable. We have out of control rent prices, only 40% home ownership here in the county. Inflation, of course. Sunsetting pandemic funding. Not in my backyard ism. The Ukraine war, which we just authorized another several billion. And you know how I feel. Charity starts at home. Artificial intelligence that are killing jobs in the tens of thousands. So what are people going to do? Globalism, not made in the US. Apathy. Drug dealers. No detox centers locally. New, powerful, synthetic drugs. Highly addictive, highly dangerous. Can kill you as you try to detox off of them. Political will is an issue. Housing developers are an issue. Lack of mental health capacity. The length of time that someone is homeless just exacerbates the problem. A national endemic of homelessness. The lack of bathrooms, drug use, violence, public urination and defecation, prostitution, all of these things are issues. What are you struggling with in your life today if you were to make a list? This is a hell of a list for someone to overcome that is unhoused. What are the solutions? Again, I keep telling you, we are the richest nation in the history of mankind. We need the political will. We need to put our money where our mouth is. Human basic rights of food, shelter, health care should be something that is made in America, that are American values. We can solve this issue, but we cannot wait and look and see what best practices are. We're in a very unique space. We're on a peninsula. We're an hour boat ride or a 30-minute ferry ride from a major metropolitan city that's tremendously expensive. We've got a military that is all over the county. The answer lies within it. The answer lies with us, the people. So what are we going to do? What are we willing to do? We can complain about it. We can demand and point our finger, but that is not going to change the situation. I wore short sleeves today so they can be rolled up, because that's what it's going to take. Changing the temporary bathrooms was easy to do with the tie and cufflinks on. But if you can't do that, providing supplies helps. Understanding what the challenges are, getting to know who the people are, whose daughter that was, whose son that was, whose father that is, whose mother that is. Will they not work again because of physical or mental disability? What will it take to restore them to what we quote productive citizens? Let's find out. And let's help them. If we look at Hawaii as a microcosm of the United States, and as tragic as that is, there are many of us that don't even know what happened. There are many more of us that it didn't change our day at all. What happened in Hawaii didn't change our day at all. And this is how we go about our daily life. But we have folks on ML King, our fellow Bremertonians, our fellow Kitsap County residents that need support. And I implore you, do not fall into fear tactics of, well, if we solve the problem, it's just going to bring more homeless here, more unhoused here. Instead, look at it the other way. If we solve the problem, then we have the model that we could share throughout the rest of the nation. And hell, if we actually solve the problem, maybe we create a way to build programs and generate money that comes into our great city and into our great county. We don't have to have a pessimistic viewpoint on solving the issue. We just have to realize that we're all on the same team, the human team. All right, in 5 minutes, it's going to be tipping points and puzzle pieces, followed by the Housing and Homeless Coalition meeting, which is always broadcast here on the Conduit. And then, of course, City Council at 5:30 tonight. Wednesday is our busy day. Stay cool. To all my people on Rock the Block, as you were, Marwan Cameron, this is the